From the head of the family assuring everyone that he's listening to them, to a fan-favorite character making a comeback, Vin Diesel reveals that he's using fan feedback for Fast 11. Here's the thing, fans just want things to go back to the way they were. You know, the good old times, the fast, colorful cars, the street racing scenes, and, of course, the parties that came along with it. But Fast and Furious got more and more Mission Impossible-esque over time, which might have been good for the box office, but the original fans didn't appreciate all the change. For a long time, it seemed like they were just ranting to one another. But now, the head of the family says he's taken notice. Vin posted a video on Instagram where he's sitting in the Cayman Islands with Sung Kang, the guy who plays Han, and revealed that he's going to be incorporating fan feedback in Fast 11. I mean, makes perfect sense when you consider the mixed response to Fast X. Because here's the thing, Fast X was an extremely divisive film. A lot of fans weren't happy with it, although some folks appreciated Jason Momoa's flamboyant Dante. Jason might have added some much-needed comedic value to the film. The fact of the matter is, it lacks street racing, the souped-up cars, and just everything that made the franchise what it was. So Vin said they're taking a look at fan feedback. And not just feedback for Fast X, no, feedback for all of them. Fans were pretty thrilled when they heard him say, "The conversation never stops. 5 a.m. Cayman Islands. And the world would never realize that. We're here dissecting the mythology of Fast, going over it. Going over all of the feedback from our incredible fans. And how much we're just enjoying being in this creative dojo. So much inspiration and time to reflect." Vin also said that he's going to make sure that Fast X Part 2, or Fast 11, is a hit. The actor also teased that he's going down a scary path for the second part of the 3-part finale. And now that they're done with press tours, marketing, and premieres, he has the time to go back to figuring out how to make a movie that he knows the fans would actually love. This part of the process, according to the main man himself, was so much fun. At the end of the video, Vin said that he takes all of this extremely seriously because he knows how important this franchise is to fans. While all of this was heartfelt and all, and the guy probably had good intentions, fans couldn't help but focus on one altogether different aspect of the video, and that was the fact that Vin and Sung looked high as a kite. First of all, the video's 2 minutes and 35 seconds long, whereas the contents of his speech aren't all that much. That's how slow he talked. And then take a look at Sung. He's either on a ton of drugs, or maybe he's missing Giselle. Anyway, he's just got his head back, listening to Diesel, talking a bit in between, but doesn't make a lot of sense. Nope. And hey, don't just take my word for it. Check out some of the comments that fans left. One fan commented, "Bro is faded," while another talked about how there's no way drugs weren't involved in this video. One of them also said, "Let my boy, talking about Sung here, get some sleep." But not all the comments were talking about how high the duo was. Some fans talked about how the franchise peaked at 7 and hasn't been the same since then. But then there was another fan who just can't seem to get enough, begged Diesel to not end the franchise after the 12th movie. My guy, 12 movies. Countless spin-offs. More spin-offs expected. I think it wouldn't be too much of a problem if they maybe stop. But hey, over 1 million people liked that video as of July 2023, so maybe fans really can't get enough. The point is, Vin's talking about improving on Fast X, and so are the fans. This begs the question, how can the second part outdo the first one? Because here's the thing, although some elements of the 10th movie were popular, you know Dante, other aspects just didn't sit too well with the fans. First, there's the issue with the massive cast. I mean, the movie had Jason Statham, Jason Momoa, John Cena, Charlize Theron, Alan Ritchson, a cameo from Pete Davidson, all packed into a film that also had all original members of the cast too. While it was exciting to see all these people on our screens, the fact is, no one truly had the time to shine. Even Vin Diesel's character lacked that oomph factor he usually had. At this point, it doesn't seem like the cast is going to be shrinking. If anything, it's actually going to get bigger. Because the ending brings back Gal Gadot's Giselle, and the post-credit scenes brings back Dwayne Johnson's Hobbs. So to truly make the 11th film better, the producers will have to make sure everyone's got the right amount of screen time, and they're going to have to focus less on individual story arcs and more on the entire team, which shouldn't be too much of a problem, because family. But it's not just the large cast that caused some of the story problems. Director Louis Leterrier was brought in to replace Justin Lin in the middle of production. So the chaotic early production phase also added to the problems. With the 11th movie though, Leterrier's already confirmed. So the next movie should be more cohesive, but the biggest change that needs to be made is that the franchise needs to go back to its roots. The first film was all about street racing, jacking up cars to make them faster, and a little bit about crime. The second film was more or less the same, but definitely a lot more colorful. I mean, who can forget Brian O'Connor's Yellow Lancer, or Roman Pierce's gorgeous purple Mitsubishi Eclipse? The third movie didn't have any of the main characters from the first one, but it was a banger nonetheless, depicting Tokyo's pretty darn cool drifting culture. The fourth movie was all about cars as well, with a little bit of drugs involved. Fifth is where the franchise made a shift, and folks actually liked that. Because you see, while it was about law enforcement and crazy stunts, these guys were still the good bad guys, stealing millions of dollars from the real bad guy. After that, the franchise just became like any other Mission Impossible movie. And the family started working for law enforcement, trying to save the world from nuclear Armageddon and whatnot. Ever since then, fans just wanted the franchise to go back to its roots. And since it looks like that might not happen, they want the franchise to end. Don't get me wrong, they still want the team to go out in style. But truth be told, these guys are done. Unless Diesel's video on Instagram meant that he's going to take the movies back to their racing roots, the next movie will have mixed reviews too. But the movie still has a chance of being more successful, and it's all because of The Rock. So the one thing that fans really missed was Dwayne Johnson's Hobbs. Because of the whole feud with Vin Diesel, he wasn't a part of the 9th and 10th films. Their relationship's getting better now though, and he's guaranteed a part in the 11th film. On top of that, he's getting his own spin-off too. Yep, there's going to be a movie centered around Luke Hobbs. But it won't be a sequel to the 2019 Hobbs and Shaw. Here's the real kicker. This movie will be the very next film in the franchise. In other words, it's going to set up Fast X Part 2. It'll be written by the same guy who wrote Hobbs and Shaw, Chris Morgan, and it's going to have both Johnson and Diesel as producers. So far, not a lot of plot details have been confirmed, but one thing's for sure. It's going to be a bridge between the 10th and the 11th film. Not only will it follow the same timelines, but it's going to explain how Hobbs showed up in the credit scene of the 10th movie. So far, there's no concrete release date for Fast 11, but Diesel did say that it'll be out by 2025. This means that Johnson won't have a lot of time to get this movie done, considering that it needs to be written, shot, edited, and released all before 2025. Plus, the producers are going to want to leave in a few months for Fast 11's marketing too. So knowing that the next movie will be centered around Hobbs, a Fast 11 that takes us back to the roots seems more and more impossible now. And there you have it. From one of the fans' most favorite characters making a comeback, to the head of the family assuring everyone that he's listening to them, this was everything on Vin Diesel revealing that he's using fan feedback for Fast 11.